5 real people from the Sideshow era owned homes, raised children, built fortunes, and performed before queens, then history erased them. This countdown brings them back. From twins who sued for their freedom to a celebrity worth millions in today's dollars, each entry reclaims a human life from behind the myth. We start at number 5, 2 conjoined sisters who fought a courtroom battle just to keep their own money. In the 5th place, Daisy and Violet Hilton's story begins in Brighton, England, where they were born in 1908. Conjoined twins joined at the hips, sharing some lower organs, but each with distinct personalities and ambitions. Sold as infants to a showwoman, the sisters spent their childhood on tour, displayed in music halls and circuses across America. For years, guardians controlled every aspect of their lives, collecting the profits while the twins themselves saw little of their earnings. That changed in 1931 when Daisy and Violet filed suit in Dallas County, Texas, seeking the right to manage their own finances. The court ruled in their favor, awarding them control over future income and a substantial back payment. Their legal battle became national news, marking one of the first times American law recognized the autonomy of sideshow performers. Soon after, the Hiltons appeared in Todd Browning's film Freaks. Their names featured in the opening credits, a rare moment of on-screen credit for performers of their era. Their careers spanned vaudeville, radio, and film, and they left behind a rich photographic and legal record. Daisy and Violet Hilton's fight for self-determination set a precedent for others, reminding us that behind the spectacle were 2 women determined to write their own story and claim their self-determination. Number 4. Julia Pastrana's life and legacy reveal the deepest wounds of colonial exploitation and the slow work of ethical restitution. Born in 1834 in Sinaloa, Mexico, Pastrana was diagnosed with hypertrichosis, a genetic condition causing excessive hair growth, and gingival hyperplasia, which thickened her gums and altered her facial features. In an era with little understanding or acceptance of visible difference, she was exhibited across Europe and North America under sensational titles, her body treated as a spectacle for profit. Playbills from the 1850s advertised her as the Ape Woman, and her tours drew crowds in Paris, London, and New York. She married her manager, Julian Sanchez, and died in 1860 in Moscow from complications following childbirth. But Pastrana's exploitation did not end with her death. Sanchez had her body embalmed, turning her remains into a traveling exhibition that circulated through museums and private collections for over 150 years. Accession records in Norway document her body's arrival at the University of Oslo, where it was catalogued and occasionally displayed as a scientific curiosity. It was not until 2013, after years of advocacy and diplomatic negotiation, that her remains were returned to Mexico. There, in her home state of Sinaloa, Julia Pastrana was finally laid to rest. Her story stands as a stark reminder that the question of dignity extends beyond life, raising urgent questions about ownership, memory, and the responsibilities of museums and nations. Pastrana's posthumous journey reframes her not as a mythic oddity, but as a woman whose humanity demanded and at last received recognition. Number 3. Chang and Eng Bunker's journey began in 1811 in the fishing village of Meklong Siam, today's Thailand. Born conjoined at the chest and sharing liver tissue, the twins entered the world as medical anomalies, but their lives would soon defy the narrow roles assigned to them. At age 18, they boarded the ship Hannah in 1829, bound for the United States. Early years were spent under the management of touring promoters, their bodies exhibited for profit across America and Europe as the Siamese twins. Yet, unlike many in their position, Chang and Eng seized opportunities for self-determination. By 1839, they became naturalized U.S. citizens, a rare status for Asian immigrants of their era. they invested their earnings in land, purchasing a 150-acre farm in North Carolina. There they married Adelaide and Sarah Yates, sisters from the local community, in 1843. The Bunkers rotated their time between two households, fathering a combined 21 children whose names appear in census schedules and property ledgers spanning 3 decades. Their plantation, like many in the antebellum South, was worked by enslaved labor before the Civil War, an uncomfortable truth that complicates their legacy of agency and prosperity. After emancipation, the Bunkers managed their land with hired workers, maintaining their position as respected, if still remarkable, members of local society. Their lives are documented not only in show posters and press clippings, but in ship manifests, marriage licenses, and census returns, records that anchor their story in the fabric of American civic life. When Chang died in 1874, Eng followed just hours later, a testament to their lifelong bond. The Bunkers' story stands as a pivot between exploitation and self-directed achievement, revealing how two men, born as curiosities, built families, accumulated wealth, and navigated the moral contradictions of their time. Number 2. Robert Wadlow's legacy towers over the history of sideshow performance, both literally and in the way his life reframes the meaning of spectacle. Born in 1918 in Alton, Illinois, Wadlow's extraordinary height was the result of a growth hormone secreting pituitary tumor, a diagnosis confirmed by hospital growth charts and post-mortem examination. By the time he reached adulthood, he stood 8 feet 11 inches tall, making him the tallest person ever documented. His medical records from Barnes Hospital in St. Louis track a relentless upward trajectory, with annual measurements that became the subject of national fascination. Wadlow's public life began in earnest in 1936, when he signed contracts to appear with the Ringling Brothers Circus, and later as a spokesperson for the Peters Shoe Company, whose custom footwear became synonymous with his image. Unlike many performers of earlier generations, Wadlow negotiated endorsement deals that paid him up to $500 per appearance, substantial earnings in the late 1930s, and enough to support his family and fund charitable causes. His touring schedule included state fairs, hospital visits, and civic ceremonies, each meticulously recorded in the ledgers of his sponsors and the archives of the Alton Museum of History and Art. Beyond the stage, Wadlow was an active member of his community, a Boy Scout, a Freemason, and a college student with ambitions in law. He appears in hundreds of press photographs, not as a caricature, but as a young man navigating extraordinary circumstances with patience and humor. His life was cut short in 1940 when a small blister from his leg brace became infected, leading to septicemia. The city of Alton mourned his passing with a funeral attended by 40,000 people, a testament to the affection he inspired. In 1985, a life-size bronze statue was unveiled in his hometown, standing as both a scientific marvel and a civic icon. Today, his memory is preserved not only in medical textbooks and museum displays, but in the continued pride of Alton, where his story is told as one of dignity, resilience, and enduring humanity. And finally, in first place, Charles Sherwood Stratton, known to the world as General Tom Thumb, stands as the most documented case of sideshow celebrity transformed into enduring wealth and social mobility. Born in 1838 in Bridgeport, Connecticut, Stratton was diagnosed with proportionate dwarfism, reaching a height of just over 32 inches in adulthood. His story changed dramatically at age 4, when P.T. Barnum discovered him and began a partnership that would rewrite the rules of spectacle and self-determination. Barnum's contracts, meticulously archived, reveal a business model that paid Stratton a share of ticket receipts and a fixed salary, elevating him from a local curiosity to an international phenomenon. Over the next 4 decades, Stratton toured 5 continents, performing before Queen Victoria, Tsar Nicholas I, and President Abraham Lincoln. His image appeared on everything from lithographs to commemorative coins, and his stage persona became a household name on both sides of the Atlantic. The apex of Stratton's celebrity arrived in February 1863 when he married Lavinia Warren in a ceremony so lavish that it drew crowds to New York's Grace Church and merited a White House reception. Newspapers described the event as the fairy wedding, and the couple's honeymoon was covered in detail by the national press. Far from being mere pawns in a showman's game, Stratton and Warren negotiated their own contracts and managed their public image with remarkable skill. With his earnings, Stratton purchased a grand home in Bridgeport and a custom-built yacht named the Nutshell, symbols of a financial independence rare among entertainers of the era. Probate records from 1883 value his estate at over $50,000, nearly $1 million today, listing property deeds, luxury furnishings, and significant investments. Stratton's legacy extends well beyond the spectacle. His career generated a vast archival footprint, birth and marriage certificates, property records, and thousands of photographs, all attesting to a life lived in the public eye but shaped by private ambition and agency. In an era when most people with visible differences faced institutionalization or poverty, Stratton leveraged his condition into a life of autonomy, influence, and material comfort. Yet his story also exposes the ethical complexities of commodification, as his fame depended on a culture eager to turn difference into profit. Today, Stratton rests in Bridgeport's Mountain Grove Cemetery, his grave visited by admirers who see not a curiosity, but a man who mastered the spectacle and claimed a place in history on his own terms. Across all 5 lives, one truth stands out. These performers were not curiosities, but individuals who shaped their fate. Their intelligence, ambitions, and families defy the cartoonish myths history imposed. The line between spectacle and self-determination is drawn by real people, not by legend.